All right, everybody, welcome back to Evil Cat's Quirky Quests. We are going to do something a little different today. Let's see, where is it? There we go. Let's see, come on. There we go. All right, we're going to be doing something a little different in that I'm going to be actually joining the stream today. We're in the process of switching everything over from mostly Spotify over to Rumble. And as a result, we're adding more video to things. We used to do video and TV production, but a few years ago, I ended up getting out of it when I was married. And I just wanted to focus more on that life and got back into culinary. But now that we're back in production and the marriage is no longer in the picture, I have the time and the ability to focus on stuff like this again. So we got back into production, but we were doing mostly podcasts and audio. All of the film equipment had been long sold off, but we did upgrade all the audio equipment. And once we started going to Rumble, we were still going mostly audio. We were putting in some video plates or still plates to add a video element, but now that we're committing to Rumble in the video format, we're going to be adding more actual video. So we've started to upgrade the video equipment, replace that. So makes it a little bit more like we actually get to kind of hang out and play these games, which to me that's always been the more fun part of all this, is just getting to kind of share the experience, hang out, see what you guys think, and just have a good time. So as far as what we're going to play today, I had in an earlier stream done the Fighting Fantasy Classics game BloodBones, where you're kind of going up against an undead pirate. And I had a lot of fun. It's a really cool game. I love the Fighting Fantasy Classics setup. It's pretty much like the old Choose Your Own Adventure games and books from back when I was a kid. And I used to love those books. I would go through those things like water. So this game series, since it is actually based on an actual Choose Your Own Adventure style game book, is like right up my alley. So after playing BloodBones and really having a good time with it, I went on to Steam and bought basically every game for the Fighting Fantasy Classics game. So we're going to be going through quite a few of them. Just had a really good time and wanted to see what these other ones had to offer. And yeah, this is going to be cool. As for the one we're going to start with, because I have the games organized, let's actually pull up the let's see. All right, let's see. Let's try that again. There we go. Now we're cooking. Now, I have the games arranged in alphabetical order, or numerical order. And you have a couple options. You can arrange them by either the numerical order, by what been recent, but I kind of like the numerical order to kind of see the set and what they've got out and what kind of gaps need to be filled in. Because they're not releasing the games as they order. They go from 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we skip 8, we got 9, 10, skip 11, 12, we got 13, 14, skip 15, 16, got 17. Now, 17 is where we're going to hold for a little bit. That's the game we're going to start with today. I'm not going to necessarily go in number order. May after this, but really wanted to see this one. It's very different than a lot of the choose your own adventure kind of stories. And being a huge comic book fan, Appointments with Fear, that was the winner for the next game. Now, for those that know me, I've got a lifetime love of comic books. Actually owned 2 comic book stores back in New Jersey, Planet 9 Comics and Comics Connection, both of which I had a lot of fun with. Had some really good people that I worked with, and we had a great time. Also used to have a comic publisher, Evil Cat Comics. We did digital and print comics. So comics to me is something very personal, something I love. My oldest memories are comic book movies, comic book shows. It's always been a part of me. So let's see, even one of our biggest projects that we did was a show called Not So Amazing, which was kind of a parody of superheroes. And it made fun of kind of existing heroes and situations. And it went for like 3 seasons, a couple of Christmas specials, a spin-off with one of the other characters. There's a lot of these things that revive everything kind of coming back too. So I like good stuff coming. So let's see. So for today, let's get into our Appointment with Fear. And let's have a good time with this game. Alright, the background. The time of your birth was an anxious moment for your parents and their doctors. Your mother had consented to go an experimental form of genetic surgery. The doctors had warned her of the dangers of the radiation experiments. The research program was nowhere near complete. But this she already knew, for she herself was one of the researchers. The work had reached the stage where progress was impossible without testing it on a human subject. Your father had not fully understood the implications when he gave his consent, and 8 pairs of apprehensive eyes watched your arrival into the world. Their first reaction was one of relief. You certainly seemed a normal, healthy baby. Postnatal tests showed no physical deformities whatsoever. In fact, you appeared to be a fine specimen. In your younger years, your development was carefully monitored with a seemingly endless series of physiological and psychological tests, all of which you passed with flying colors. The doctors and researchers congratulated themselves. Their experiments were a complete success. However, the experiments had been conducted in a shroud of secrecy. Had the world known of the risks of the experiments, public outcry would have been overwhelming. It would certainly have put an end to further genetic research. And from your mother's point of view, she had no wish to have the world regard you as an experimental freak. Only a few knew what really happened. Over the years, the testing stopped as the doctor more and more certain that there was no need to monitor your progress. It was just when this testing that you were anything but a normal child. Gaining superhuman powers did not show the doctors at Boston that your ordinary powers must remain a secret from the world. They had no wish to have you studied as some kind of freak for the rest of your life. You have a regular job, working in an office of a medium-sized company, but when duty calls, you become Evil Cat, upholder of justice, and you have taken an oath to serve in the fight against crime in Titan City. Apart from your own super abilities, you have one other device to aid you, your Crime Watch. This neat little device, worn around your wrist, receives and broadcasts transmissions to and from your two most important allies. You can be contacted by police headquarters through this device. You can also summon the police to aid you. In addition, your friend and underworld contact, Glass, is able to warn you of impending crimes through the about to take place and days. Vladimir Utoshsky, leader of F.E.A.R, the Federation of Euro-American Rebels, has been summoning his aides in crime to meet in Titan City. Utoshsky, also known as the Titanium Cyborg, is a supervillain whose field of expertise is the electronic enhancement of human abilities. He is part man, part machine, and very dangerous. Jerry the Grass has not yet found out where or when the meeting is due, but one thing is certain: its purpose is to finalize plans for a scheme which would mean disaster for the Western world. And you stop. You must find out where and when this meeting is due to take place, and prevent it at all costs. All right, jig the setup. Let's start your day. Oh, I like the comic style artwork. Digging that. Okay. As you walk the 10 blocks to work that morning, you can't help but feel that something is not quite right. You stop by a telephone booth to consider what it could be. The sounds of the city are the usual 8 a.m. cacophony. Cars, their drivers too sleepy to try to avoid hits and bumps road. The narrator falls an indefensible headline. Crowds of men and women milling past him on their way to work. Overhead in the sky, the rhythmic beatings of a traffic copter's blade fades into the distance. An argument is placed between an elderly businessman and a large woman with an untrained dog, whose sidewalk deposits have offended the businessman. There is nothing unusual, or is there? Meow is a guest appearance from my Kitty Cooper. Little. Here's Super Pro. Yeah, that's my little baby. Her brother will probably be joining us for a little hello now and then as well. Okay, so let's see. There is nothing unusual. Or is there? The difference is only barely perceptible, but there is a distinct air of tension in the streets. There are nervous twitches in the eyes of the passers-by. The cars are accelerating and braking in a jittery manner. Little things like that. To your heightened senses, something in the air feels off. Today will not be just another day. Your thoughts are broken by the high-pitched wailing of a police siren. The yellow and black Cougar GS screeches around the corner and leaps ahead through the Clark Street traffic before swinging left into Audubon Park. Well, if he's going to be speeding, the road called Audubon is definitely the one to do it on. Behind it, it settles back into its regular flow. Your attention drifts back to the argument. A small crowd is built up around the man and woman. Raised voices are taking one side or the other, and the situation is beginning to look nasty. What will you do next? All right, we got our first choice of the story. Let's see what we're going to do. Let's see, we can go over and see if you can break up the argument, run after the police car into Audubon Park, buy a newspaper to find out about the robbery, or ignore all these incidents and go to work. I think I'm kind of feeling the run after the police car in Audubon Park. So let's give that a shot. As you enter the park, you pick up sounds of a commotion and follow it to a crowd grouped around a body. These are going to move the crowd on. Will you push through to see what is happening? Or will you change into Evil Cat? You know what? I can't resist. Let's change into Evil Cat. You step, as Evil Cat, towards the scene. A police officer spots you and helps you through the crowd, which parts as you are recognized. On the ground, in the center of the crowd, is the body of a man. A man of some means by the looks of his expensive clothing. Lying next to him is a gold-trimmed briefcase. While the police busy themselves with moving the crowd on, you may choose to examine either the body, the briefcase, or the surrounding bushes. Okay, interesting. Okay. The briefcase and the body make sense as choices, but the surrounding bushes, that seems to be a little too specific. Let's see. Rereading that a little bit. Let's see. Clues. Alright, so let's see. We can look at the body, the briefcase, or the surrounding bushes. Something's telling me to look around the bushes. Alright, the unmarked police car reaches to a halt at the barrier. And two detectives climb out. Meanwhile, under the surrounding area. Okay, test your luck. Let's do it. Ooh. Yay, okay, alright. Okay, better than I thought. Okay, or lower, okay. You need a luck score of 9 or lower and roll the luck score of 3. Excellent. Okay, so that was good. We did that. So we were lucky. Let's go. You reach into a thorny bush and your fingers touch a metallic object. Grasping it as best you can, you pull out a gold medallion hanging on a delicate chain. As you turn it over in your hand, you realize it's the medallion has the initials DR engraved on it. Will you hand this over to the police, or will you take it to a jeweler? Alright, well, we are a hero. We gotta do it the right way. Let's turn it over to the police. You hand the medallion to the officer who places it in a small plastic bag. Seems to me like just another mugging, he says. But it's very strange. It happened in broad daylight, and the guy's wallet hasn't even been touched. Anyway, thanks for your help. You leave the area once you have changed into your street clothes. Alright. The familiar bleeping on your wrist. You. Crime Watch is receiving a message. The electronic voice speaks 2 words. Parker Airport. Hurriedly, you change into Evil Cat and speed towards the outskirts of the city. It never rained. Halfway there, Crime Watch bleeps again. This time, the voice is warning you of another incident at Peter Laboratories. You have no idea of which word. Peter Laboratories? Well, that is an homage to Spider-Man if I've ever seen one. So it's Peter or Parker. So, which one should we go to? We're going to go to Peter or Parker? Laboratories or airport? You know what? Let's go to the laboratories. Because if we're going to go with the whole it's a Spider-Man analogy with Peter and Parker, well, Peter worked at a lot of labs. I don't remember working at the airport. So, let's go with that. Ooh, okay, something's going on with some dog. Ooh, looks like some rabid dogs there. But he needs a nap. Okay, put a bib on that sucker. Okay, you quickly change into Evil Cat and rush to the Peter Laboratory. It is near the sit-down next to the nuclear physics department of the university. When you arrive, you are sent straight upstairs to the third floor, but told to be careful. A group of students and professors are huddled by the stairs. You are told what is happening. Four Alsatian dogs, which were being used in dangerous radiation experiments, have escaped from their cages. They are locked in a room down the corridor and are barking wildly. Although they should not be radioactive to the touch, their bite could be lethal should their saliva enter an open cut. If you survive this episode, you will earn hero points related to how many of the dogs you can capture and how many civilians are injured. Okay, so let's see. So if you have ETS, if you have energy plus, if you have power. Alright, so super strength is our power. So let's go. Alright, you step up to the door and wave a frantic barking at it. In fact, the dogs are clawing and nipping at the door, which is beginning to weaken. Take the handle and prepare to rush in. Roll one die. 4. Step. Into the screaming crowd. Wide open and frothing. You slam the door shut. Your immediate duty is to prevent anyone from being bitten. Alright, let's fight the escaped dogs. You lunge towards the first dog, its slobbering jaws, snapping and snarling. You must fight. Okay, let's do it. First, radiation dog. Alright, fight. Nice! Nice! Fight. Yeah, right. Take that, puppy. Yeah, suck, Cujo. Alright, we beat the first one. Let's see. First dog. Second dog across its fallen comrade, desperate to maul you. Alright. Alright, come on, fight. Yeah, we're getting some ass on these dogs. Alright, fight. Alright, take it, dogs. Nice. Alright, second dog. Alright, we defeated the second dog. Another dog faces you, snarling and growling ferociously. You must fight. Alright, let's do it. Nice. Okay, come on, keep going, keep going. Ouch. Oh, that's actually what it said. Okay, it managed to bite you. Alright, what are the effects of the radiation? It sinks its teeth into your flesh. Oof. Let's see what happens to us. 1, 2, or 3. Alright, so you rolled a 3. Okay, thankfully the radiation has not affected you. With the dog's jaws clamped on you, you easily dispatch the poor animal by breaking its neck. Ooh, I didn't really kill the dogs. It's time to fight the fourth dog. I just kind of want to capture them and let animal control find a way to help them. The fourth dog leaps at you, its gnashing teeth ready to rip your throat out. Okay, guess let's fight. Okay, we must fight. Let's see. Yeah. Come on. Draw. Nice. Almost there. Two more shots should get his ass. Nice. One more and he's done. Yeah, let's do it. You are triumphant. Alright, defeat the fourth dog. Congratulated by some of the crowd for having averted what could have been a bigger disaster. There have been lots of casualties, though, due to escaped dogs. You do not earn any hero points. As you leave the university, a crowd of autograph hunters has gathered outside. Will you slip out the back way to avoid them and make for home, or oblige by stepping out to cool and attention? The crowd cheers as you walk down the steps of the building. You are surrounded by energetic hands thrusting pieces of paper at you. You are signed a dozen or so autographs when your ears prick up. A cry is coming from a few shop doors down. Stop! Thief! Sounds like a job for Evil Cat. You break through the crowd to investigate. Okay, imagery too. Nice. Okay, quick as a flash, you spring into the shop ready for action. It's a small sweets, candies, and tobacco shop. The proprietor, Mr. Calvin Farquharson, is standing behind the counter in a state of shock, his head buried in his hands. You shake his shoulders and tell him to pull himself together. He composes himself and stammers, "Terror! The little terror! Pulled a gun! Grabbed everything on the counter! And out through there!" He points through the shop to what is apparently the back door. Reach for the back door to stop the thief before he can get away, or you grab something to use as cover first. Now I'm going right after the bad guy. You fling open the back door and your eyes scan the dirty yard outside. In the far corner of the walled yard is a pile of boxes, and you can make out a shoe protruding from behind them. Okay, so again, let's see our power. Okay, so we don't have ETS energy blast, so we go here. I have a feeling that's not good. What's up, Cooper? Hey, Cooper. Hi. Say what, Coop. Hey, Coop. Say hello. That's a good girl, Cooper. That's my love. All right, let's go and see what happens. You creep silently over to the boxes. In a single motion, you grab the foot and heave the fugitive from his hiding hole. But when you see what you've caught, your anger rises. The thief can be no more than 9 years old. A young boy, still clutching his booty, a half-eaten goobar, looks up at you with terrified eyes. You grab his wrist and march him inside. He's shoplifting a goobar. After giving the young boy an earful, you then away. Then you turn to the shopkeeper. You are furious. You had thought that this was a serious robbery, not merely a youngster's prank to steal a bar of candy. The cowardly shopkeeper has wasted your time. Will you leave quickly, or would you like to give the shopkeeper a piece of your mind first? You know what? We're supposed to be a superhero. We're supposed to be, better than that. But you make your way home and spend the rest of the night relaxing in front of TV. After that, you gain 6 stamina points for the rest. Nice. The next morning, you leave for work early. You travel by bus. As the bus enters Rad Square, you notice a disturbed crowd in the center of the square. Something is happening. At that very moment, your crime watch sounds. You hold it to your ear and hear its message. Cowfield Dairy. Fast. Quickly, you get off the bus. Will you investigate the disturbance in Rad Square? Or will you follow your Crime Watch's instructions and head towards Cowfield Dairy 2 blocks away? Okay. I got a feeling we should listen to the Crime Watch. Let's go to the dairy. Alright. Sorry about that. Long day. Alright. Let's see. Big chainsaw guy there. You change in a convenient alley and head for the dairy. When you arrive at the gates, everything seems to be in order. Milk floats are returning from their daily rounds, and thousands of bottles are clinking their way along conveyors. There is no sign of danger. A short-tailed tabby cat, awesome, no doubt a stray, is trying to get in through the gates. You pick up the hungry creature and stroke it. Aw, kitty. As you wait, your eye catches a familiar-looking figure turning the corner and walking toward you. It is Chainsaw Bronski, a well-known murderer who you thought was well behind bars. All right. I have to give the little ones a little something to eat, so I will be back in. So, let's see here. All right. So let's bring the game back. Okay. So let's continue on. Will you apprehend the villain? Or does your duty first lie with the needy and will you instead take the cat to a cat's home? Wow, I can't let the. No, you know what? I gotta go with the cat. I'm sorry. That's it. Kitty's coming first. Let's do it. The cat's home is not far from the dairy. As if it senses where it is going, the little animal squirms to get free. It bites and scratches in your grip. It seems to be getting heavier. Suddenly, a remarkable transformation takes place. You drop the cat to the ground, and before your eyes, it grows in size and takes on a female human form. Until it stands before you as the tiger cat. Of course, this wicked she-villain has a record of robbing dairies and fish factories. Ha ha, that's awesome. That's cool. Okay. No choice but to fight. Alright, let's do it. Her first costume is from claws, hands, and feet, and she springs at you. Oh, she's in a tight tiger stripe costume. She can spring at me all she wants. Let's fight. Alright, let's see what we get here. Kick a little ass, that's what we're gonna do. Alright, let's go again. Come on, yeah. Alright, just about got her. Come on, yeah, this should be a good one. Boom. Alright, going down. Ooh. Draw, okay. And with that, the battle's over. We are triumphant. Excellent. Okay, we defeat the tiger cat. We did. You hand the tiger cat in at police headquarters. You have earned 2 hero points for this arrest. Yay, go us! The police sergeant at the desk is puzzling over a piece of paper which has been handed in by a little old lady. She thinks it might be important. He lets you have a look at it, thinking it might be a clue. It reads, "Watch for the sign of the man trap." A metal slug with the letter M engraved on it. This is a useful clue, and you gain 1 luck point for seeing it. If you find evidence of an activity, this information will be useful. Nice. Let's continue on. Okay, you must start thinking about getting back to work. Outside it's starting to rain. Just your luck. Okay, head for work. We haven't heard any riddles, so we can't do that. Okay, you change back into street clothes and get a move on. You are late for work again. You turn the corner onto Clark Street and stop as you pass Harold's department store. Yeah, that's my best friend's name. A thought has crossed your mind. You could stop and buy your boss a present of some kind to apologize for being late, but then this would make you even later. Is it worth it? If you wish to go in and look for a suitable gift, no, I don't think we need to buy him a present. Let's just go to work. Alright. Get in here at once. You step through the office door. Wait. Hey. Jonah White's routine, hurry, right? Jonah White's booming voice summoned you. You can't teach us being late yet again? Enough, he yells. What do you think we are running here? Charity? Do you suppose I should be grateful that you even grace us with your money? Very noble of you indeed to even bother coming in at all. Well, I tell you what, I'm feeling kind today. You can have the rest of the day off without pay. And if you're not in first thing in the morning, you can start looking for another job. You slink out of his office with your tail between your legs. How can you tell him what you've been doing? And now you've been suspended for a day. Where will you go? Disneyland? No. Yeah, no, we won't. Oh, there we go. The same joke. Will you spend the day at Disneyland, the amusement park, or will you avoid all contact with the outside world and go home and make sure you get an early start in the morning? Screw Disney. You make a promise to yourself. Tomorrow you are going to arrive at work on time. With that in mind, you can decide either to stay in and rest for the evening, or go out and see a show. You have heard that Bratz, the all-star musical by Lloyd Webber Answers, is playing in packed houses. Okay, now the whole point was to go home and get rest, so let's just do that. You spend a quiet evening reading a good book and have a hearty home-cooked meal. You gain 6 stamina points. Alright. After a good night's sleep, you set off for work the next morning. To your great relief, your crime watch does not sound at all. And you actually arrived for Jonah White, who was astounded to find you hard at work when he arrived. You gained 2 luck points as the danger of your job. You change into Evil Cat and visit police headquarters to find out why so little has been happening on the crime front all day? Or will you pay a surprise visit to your aunt who lives out in the suburbs? Okay, I'm feeling the Spidey vibe here. Let's go visit our aunt out in the suburbs. Leaving you with a 5-minute walk to her house. Will you take a leisurely stroll around the outside of the cemetery, or will you take a shortcut through it? Okay, I may regret this, but I think I'm going to take the shortcut. Let's see, a superhero going through a creepy cemetery. What could happen? Let's find out. Ooh, just what I thought. Digging that right through the graves. Right up out of the ground. The sky clouds over as you enter the cemetery. By the time you are halfway across, the atmosphere is decidedly spooky. A scraping noise to your left attracts your attention. The noise is coming from a recently dug grave, and you step over to get a closer look. Your eyes widen as you see a movement in the soil on top of the grave. Something is trying to get out. A hand reaches out of the soil as a huge shape lifts itself out of the pit. You recognize the creature. You have come across him once before. The webbed claws of the gray-skinned beast flex as it steps towards you. The reincarnation. The beast that cannot be killed. What has even buried an ordinary grave? Probably some idiot official didn't believe the stories. But one thing is certain. The reincarnation must not be allowed to stalk Titan City again on its mission of destruction. Okay, we've got the super strength power, so let's go. The reincarnation is a powerful creature which may not be killed, but you may be able to knock it unconscious. If you reduce its stamina to 0, it will remain so for 2 days. Okay, that's actually pretty decent. Alright, let's do it. Okay. Alright, first shot. Let's do it. Okay, going good. Let's get his ass to his ass. Ooh. Okay, that's better. Okay. Back on the upswing. Nice. Close, but nice. We almost got his ass. One more will do it. Come on, suck it, asshole. Damn. Okay. Here we go. Come on. Take him. Fuck. Okay, come on. It's too goddamn close. Come on. Yes, that's more fucking like it. That takes his ass out of the room. Okay. Defeat the creature. Yes, we did. There is no one about to help you. What can you do? Simply reach for it. Decide the best to do is back in its grave and cover it until you can bring the police to dispose of the reincarnation for effect. You cannot gain any hero points for this encounter, as no one has seen you defeat it. Oh, what the hell? Such are the rewards of a devotion to public service. Continue by setting off once more for your aunts. Okay. Your Aunt Florence is overjoyed to see you, but wonders why you are looking so untidy. She fusses about, making you tea and offering you cream cakes. Heh, like the wheat cakes from Aunt May. You are exhausted by the day's activities and are happy to let her fuss. You decide to spend the night there rather than face the long journey home. Next morning is, thank goodness, a Saturday. No work. If indeed you still have a job to go back to at all. You leave your aunt's, and you must now decide where you will go. There is an exhibition of home appliances of the future at the World's Court Exhibition Center. If you want to go to the exhibition center, or you may go to watch the presidential cavalcade on 7th Avenue. The president is coming to Titan City. Well, that's actually pretty handy. Alternatively, the Titan Tigers are playing a friendly football game against the Metro Mohawks. Well, it's the president. How often do you get to do that? And I can see the Titan Tigers pretty much all the time since I live in Titan. But how often does the president come? And yeah, home appliances of the future may actually be kind of interesting, but I'd rather do something a little more cool than that. Alright. The citizens of Titan City have turned out in the thousands to greet the president. They line up on both sides of 7th Avenue to succeed. The presidential car is still not due to arrive for half an hour. Yeah, that's good. Spirits are high. I'm sure it's half the crowd. There is much flag waving and bands are playing as a prelude to the arrival. Will you spend the next half hour in a coffee bar waiting for the main procession to arrive? Or will you find a place in the crowd which offers a decent view? You know what, let's actually get a good view in the crowd. You fight your way through the crowd until you reach a spot where you can just about see the cars arrive up the avenue over the heads of the crowd in front of you. 20 minutes later, the cavalcade arrives, and cheers go up from the crowd. As the president's car approaches, you catch sight of a man in front of you struggling with something. His hand comes free. He is holding a gun and is preparing to point it at the president. You're in the streets. You must avoid the man getting a shot at the president. You leap on it behind. You must fight. I mean, yeah, you can't let this asshole just assassinate the president. Okay, fight the assassin. Alright. Draw first blood. Oh, nice. Combat is back long enough. Okay, we're out of combat. You temporarily release your grip on him as he manages to shove you aside just as the president's car draws past. He aims the gun and shoots. The president falls. You leap on him again to finish off the battle. No fucking way. I didn't get him in time? Okay, take down the assassin. You haul the unconscious assassin out of the crowd towards the president's car. Swarms of police are surrounding the car, and in the distance you can hear an ambulance's siren approaching. One of the president's bodyguards is listening for a pulse. He looks up and shakes his head. In your street clothes, you cannot get near the body, but the police listen to your story and take the assassin from you. One of them talks to another, who talks to another standing in the car. They seem to be considering your story. Word gets back to you. Something strange is going on. You say this guy fired the president as he fell? Then how come the bullet that killed him came from a higher, not the matter? You are mystified as they are and agree to go downtown to answer their questions. But one thing is clear. Your assassin's bullet did not kill the president. Was he merely a decoy? You puzzle over this as you leave the station and head for home. Alright, let's continue. Oh, they couldn't have put that on the other page. You set off home and take some well-deserved rest. The prospect of the F.E.A.R meeting is weighing heavily in your mind, but for the moment, you are well advised to relax for the evening. You gain 6 stamina points for taking it easy. Next morning, you are woken, not by the alarm clock, but by your crime watch. Beep, beep, beep. This time the message is no longer than normal and repeats itself. Oh, this time the message is longer than normal and repeats itself. Reliable information. F.E.A.R meeting today. Whereabouts unknown. You spring out of bed. Today? Do you have any clues as to where this meeting is? Where will you go? Alright, we got Parker Airport, stay in town, head towards the waterfront. Okay, shady shit in these kinds of stories always take place at the waterfront. I'm willing to take a bet on that. Let's head to the waterfront. Are you anticipating the F.E.A.R meeting? If so, you will know what time you ought to arrive to catch the meeting in progress. Add together today's date and the time of the meeting. If you do not have this information, then you'll have to guess. Okay, enter the total here. Today's date and the time. Yeah, I have no idea. So let's just put a random number. You are wrong and out of guesses. Okay, the resulting number makes no sense. Yeah, there we go. It is hopeless. You do not know where F.E.A.R is holding its meeting, and you have no chance of finding it in such a short time. You find a convenient spot, change into your street clothes, and hail a cab. The driver has his radio on. As he chats away, the radio sputters and fizzles. The music dies, and an unscheduled announcement interrupts the program. Okay, and we're about to find out about something. A steely voice with a sinister tone speaks slowly and clearly. Citizens of the world, it announces. Do not attempt to return or to retune your receivers. This message is being broadcast on all frequencies simultaneously in all languages to all areas of the globe. My name is Vladimir Toshi. I am known as the Titanium Cyborg. My organization is known to you as the Federation of American Rebels. My message is this. We have taken control of the War Star satellite. We demand unconditional surrender of all your governments, military, and military and the submission of all citizens to our leadership. Any resistance will be dealt harshly. That will obliterate, one by one, the major cities of the earth. As proof power, terminated in exactly 30 seconds. Your heart sinks. You have failed to stop the fateful meeting of F.E.A.R. The whole world must now pay the penalty. Your adventure and the world ends here. Bummer. Okay, despite your valiant efforts, it appears you are defeated by the vast criminal element in Titan City. This is where your adventure must end for now. Here comes 2, super rating. You're probably the worst superhero ever. Maybe stick to the day job rather than trying to save people, eh? Okay, ouch. Alright, want to take us back here. Oh, here's my other little baby, Cal. Hey, Bubba. That's a good boy. Alright, let's come on back. How you doing, Calbert? He was just passing through. Alright, well, I think that's a good playthrough for tonight. So, yeah, I had a lot of fun. I like the similarity to the gameplay, so it's familiar. and the difference in the genre, it really adds a new element to it. Really recommend giving this a try. It's a lot of fun, especially if you like either narrative games or choose your own adventure type games. You're gonna have a blast with this. And if you were into choose your own adventure books or the fighting fantasy game books back in the day, this is definitely for you. So trust me, we will be playing a lot more of these. I may jump around a little bit in between. Like we may jump back into Appointment with Fear and try again and see if we can get through to a good ending, or could jump around and try a different game and come back to this one. Let me know what you think. If you have a preference, if you want to see more of this or a different game, or if you're familiar with the Fighting Fantasy Classics games, if you have one that you want to see me do, let me know. I'll play it. If it's something you guys want to see, I'm down for it. I eventually want to get to all of these, so let's have some fun and let's make it more of a group effort. I want to see what you guys want to see, and let's be a little more interactive with this. Hence, adding the video, kind of more like we get to kind of hang out rather than just being a disembodied voice as you watch the game. So I think this is going to be a little bit more fun. And again, thanks for hanging out. Everyone that's watched live and everyone that's going to watch later, we appreciate all of you, really sincerely. We wouldn't be here without you guys, which is why we do it. So really appreciate it. Don't forget to like and follow the show so you don't miss anything. And again, thanks for hanging out, and see you next time. Let's see.
Dungeons and Dragons, rolling dice tonight. It's a quest of quirks under pixel light. Joystick in hand with a mischievous grin. Every crash, every bug just adds to the win. Tune in for laughs as the pixels collide. On Evil Cat's quest, there's no place to hide. Mini tones jamming in an epic fight. Each quirky quest telling tales tonight. From the darkest dungeon to the farthest star, Evil Cat's quest shows who we are. Midi tones jamming in an epic fight. Each quirky quest telling tales tonight. From the darkest dungeon to the farthest star, Evil Cat's quest shows who